Is it different than totally.
Can I ask you all a favor, off the record favor? Sure. I'm gonna take a selfie with all of us for myself, and
Can we all be in it?
yeah, let's do it.
It's a selfie.
Yeah. Wait, one more time. We gotta get everybody in.
By everybody, we mean Mickey.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, it'll take a little while, but yeah, I'll work on it. Just airdrop every phone that comes through. Right now.
I got real.
Okay, I will.
Just send it out on the whole
I'm
thing.
gonna send it to the press list. How about that?
That's very good.
Who just said that? You didn't? That's like my favorite thing.
Singing in the shady air, son. So great.
Tim, this is just like door knocking. I said this is just like door knocking. Yeah, same thing.
You don't have to carry them when you ship them to Canada.
Missy, how long do you need this hotspot?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that much battery on my phone to charge.
3 months. Selma.
You're still fine.
Yeah, I told her it was like made Super Bowls with quarterbacks. I think that's what it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Steven, have you seen the astronaut that recorded his own version?
Yes, that was great.
In the space.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
it was
fun.
great.
It was right after they both died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great video.
It was very, very nice.
Yeah, he was in the space station and recorded it. It's floating around with his guitar. Yeah, I mean, he had this wherewithal to pack a guitar and go to the space station.
I'm gonna do what I did last time. Just sit.
We're not gonna, not right now. We're gonna, sorry.
Oh, did I turn that on? When was it?
That was the campaign.
It is counting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger. No, forget American. Oh, he's not here. I don't see him here.
Oh, I got it. I'm doing it two harder. What is over here? We could stand over here.
my ear. Oh. And she goes, we have Steve Kornacki at the big board. Still at the big board. Always at the big board. Does this man ever sleep? Couldn't help but laugh. It was good.
What kind of advice is that? And he went to put his hand on the railing and he went like this.
Last night I had to go to the look airport to like show their cleaning, which was nothing at all. And then I was talking to the supervisor. Are you watering? Nice. But I actually went to shake my hand. It sounds exactly like really long after the conversation. Yeah. We should shake hands.
I mean, my pants.
We should bump elbows.
Yeah, at the
Gabrielle? Where's she going when she leaves? Did you say?
She's departed. And I did not say.
They're like, I was like, do you have any idea when they're doing it? They're like, once every 4 hours. I was like, well, that's half my shift.
Yeah, kind of tight quarters here. You can see a lot of reporters, really a lot of reporters.
What? I'll do my best. Yeah.
Probably just one.
Yeah, that's everyone. This is your 2-minute warning. Hey, control room, 2-minute warning.
This is the 2 minutes.
How much time left in the period?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you said the 8 o'clock?
They say that.
How much time left in the break? We're not in break, okay? Yeah.
And the guy's voice is Gillette.
Yeah.
This is the dude.
That's my favorite.
I'm gonna have to stay right here.
Now I can pack up and go back to the photo room.
Eat the weird cardboard piece.
1 minute.
Yum.
What?
Where's Steven? Now I can hear his
Sorry.
crowd.
Will do.
Black smoke or white smoke?
So am I. That's probably why I got the chance.
Do you mind if I put it on anyway?
Yes, I was correct. I was raised Catholic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's more appropriate. So is for me and 50%.
Now I'm just
Me too.
I'm going live.
Yeah.
Mike, fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
But he's going to come back, I think, between our two. Right? You're going to come back between our two heads. Okay, great. Just when she wants.
Yeah. Right?
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
I do this one sometimes. I like this one. Okay. But gotta be a little more comfortable.
Camera going to do that now.
Haven't figured out the right angle yet. I'm usually not on it.
And try the other one. She just went down with that.
You and the veils.
Okay.
All right. So I announced this morning that I am suspending my campaign for president. I say this with a deep sense of gratitude for every single person who got in this fight, every single person who tried on a new idea, every single person who just moved a little in their notion of what a president of the United States should look like. I will not be running for president in 2020, but I guarantee I will stay in the fight for the hardworking folks across this country who've gotten the short end of the stick over and over. That's been the fight of my life, and it will continue to be so. So, anyone have a
Do you have
question?
any plans to endorse?
What guidance would you give to your
I'm sorry?
supporters who don't know who to support now?
Well, let's take a deep breath and spend a little time on that. We don't have to decide that this minute.
And I wonder what your message would be to the women and girls who feel like we're left with two white men to decide between.
I know. One of the hardest parts of this is all those big promises and all those little girls who are going to have to wait 4 more years. That's going to be hard.
Senator, why do you think, Senator?
Will you be making an endorsement today? We know that you spoke with both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders yesterday.
Not today. Not today. I need some space around this, and want to take a little time to think a little more. I've been spending a lot of time right now on the question of suspending and also making sure that this works as best we can for our staff, for our team, for our volunteers.
Senator, why do you
I'm sorry?
It could be coming, but just not right now.
Not right now.
Senator,
Not
why?
right now.
I know that your campaign manager, Roger Lau, said on the staff call today that he had no regrets. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, I do. I have no regrets at all. This has been the honor of a lifetime. 10 years ago, I was teaching a few blocks from here and talking about what was broken in America and ideas for how to fix it. And pretty much nobody wanted to hear it. And I've had a chance to get out there and talk with millions of people. And we have ideas now that we talk about that we just weren't talking about even a year ago. A 2-cent wealth tax and universal child care that could be real. We could make it happen. And canceling student loan debt for 43 million Americans and raising Social Security payments. Those are life-changing events for people. And we can actually do this. So I'm delighted to have been here and honored to have had this chance. Allison.
What happened here in Massachusetts?
I was told at the beginning of this whole undertaking that there are 2 lanes. A progressive lane that Bernie Sanders is the incumbent for and a moderate lane that Joe Biden is the incumbent for. And there's no room for anyone else in this. I thought that wasn't right, but evidently I was wrong.
Senator, what do you think?
Weren't able to resonate more with voters and win any states?
As I said, I think that I was told when I first got into this, there are 2 lanes. And I thought it was possible that that wasn't the case, that there was more room and more room to run another kind of campaign. But evidently that wasn't the case.
Senator, was it especially painful to lose your home state, Massachusetts?
No, I am deeply grateful to the people of Massachusetts. Look, back in 2012, they took a chance on someone who had never run for public office before. They ousted a very popular incumbent Republican senator to give me a chance to stand up on a bigger platform and fight for their families, and I am deeply grateful for that. They returned me to the Senate in 2018, and I'm deeply grateful for that. They're the reason I'm in this fight, and they're the reason I am able to stand here today. No.
Annie right here.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Senator Warren. 2 questions.
Sure.
I saw you go 2 days ago for yourself.
I did.
Could you, 2 things, reflect a little bit about what that was like for you? And then the other question is, could you talk a little bit about the role that you think that gender played in this campaign and in its race?
So, it was, I stood at that voting booth and I looked down and I saw my name on the ballot. And I thought, wow, kiddo, you're not in Oklahoma anymore. That it really was a moment of thinking about how my mother and dad, if they were still here, would feel about this. I had gotten a long email from my nephew and how proud his dad, my brother, is, and how they were all had their plans to vote and had met other people. And it's these long ties. For that moment standing in the booth, I miss my mom and my daddy. Gender in this race, that is the trap question for every woman. If you say, yeah, there was sexism in this race, everyone says, whiner. And if you say, no, there was no sexism, about a bazillion women think, what planet do you live on? I promise you this, I'll have a lot more to say on that subject later on.
Senator, advice to your supporters right now looking for a candidate. What is your advice to them? Obviously, I know you're not endorsing anybody, but what is your advice to them?
Let's take a deep breath and think about this for a little bit longer before we all settle in.
I wonder, Senator, it was a long 2 days for you, or multiple days, to make this decision. What were you thinking about? What informed? What was the final straw?
This is the last.
You know, a big part of it is to think about all the people who turned their lives upside down to be part of this campaign. All of the staffers who moved and worked long hours, gave up jobs to be here, took leaves from school, to think about what works for them. This isn't just about me. This is a whole lot of people who are a big part of this, and also our volunteers, to try to think through for all those people who already have invested so many hours and so much of their heart in the phone calls and the door knocks and the coming to the office and help clean things up and keep it all going, and thinking about all those pinky promises. You know, I take those pinky promises seriously. So those were the things I needed to think through, and how we make all those pieces work at least as best we can for everyone. And one last thing. It's about all the people who are affected by all the issues I've talked about. Whether they got involved in my fight or someone else's fight, or even not at all. But however we talk about this, there still is $1.5 trillion of student loan debt outstanding. There are still tens of millions of people across this country who one bad medical diagnosis and they're upside down financially. There are still mamas and daddies all across this country who can't finish their education, can't take on jobs because they can't find access to decent childcare that they can afford. And I had to think a lot about where is the best place for me to go to keep fighting those fights, because those problems don't disappear when I stand here in front of you. Those problems go on, and my job is to keep fighting and to fight as smartly and effectively as I can.
Senator, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator.
You're the best.
All right, you gotta let me get through this. Sorry.